Welcome to Statesman, the podcast where we explore all 50 states with our 5 senses. If you've come here for history, we'll give you some. But most of this is half-baked opinion that is never intended to harm or offend anyone. Today, we paint a picture of the freshest powder on the East Coast, and we're not talking about the cocoa. Having shredded its way down the mountain to hotel independence from the British, with a killer ratification runtime in 1788, this 9,349 square mile ski resort was at one point a major seaport and textile manufacturer until business moved to more southern states around the time of the big money sad of the 1930s. After that, the White Mountain State had to find something else to be stoked about. Looking around at its geography, early and wealthy Granite Staters saw potential in privatizing large sweeps of northern Appalachia for winter sport, and by the 1950s, fresh powder became one of the state's most lucrative commodities, next to maple syrup and election predictions and stats. It's the state where everything lives free or dies, which is gnarly as hell. We welcome you to New Hampshire. I'm your older statesman, Tim Ferrari, along with my junior statesman, Anthony Rossi.
The Hamp.
And Stuart Highcar.
Live free or kiss this guy.
Guys, what do you think of live free or die as this state's motto? I think it's fucking so
wow.
cool.
We're getting right into it so quickly, and I'm so excited about that. I do have some interesting stuff to talk about with the motto a little bit later, but it is, I mean, we can say now, the coolest one in America, probably.
Yeah.
I don't think so. I think it's whack.
What?
I think it's whack.
Name even one other one.
Die hard, live free or die.
What? I think that's the motto of New York City.
No, the motto of New York is Excelsior, which I think is pretty sweet.
Yeah, but you're a comics fan, right?
Mm-hmm. I like the comics and the newspaper.
God, this guy's a funny head till he dies. He does comedy on stage, then he gets those funnies and cracks a rib backstage, right?
Sunday morning, I grab those colored-in comics and race off to the bathroom to start my day right.
Your dad's like, bring those back. I want to read Prince Valiant.
Prince Valiant was so interesting.
Well, guys, the room is as hot as it is funny, and we've got this hot plate burning right next to my face, and I am getting a little bit charred. I don't know about you guys.
I mean, this is the first episode we should, for the viewers at home, where Tim has brought a hot plate to keep something warm on the table. Normally, we warm things in the kitchen and bring them out here, but this one is
actively hot.
I mean, look, we're not the only thing cooking on this podcast, you know?
True.
Yeah, and Prince Valiant was like an extended series where every week you'd get a little bit more of the action.
Mm-hmm. And Prince Valiant did have a haircut similar to Lord Farquaad from Shrek 1, if you remember.
Absolutely. Some say he's the inspiration.
Some do say that. How are you guys' weeks?
My week's good. I just got a haircut, and the Lord Farquaad comment made me think, maybe my haircut is like Lord Farquaad.
I don't think any human man can have that hair. It looks like it's like two black nuts of hair on either side of his head.
I don't know. I feel like I'm kind of close to that.
If you dipped your hair in some gel at the very bottom and rounded it off, I think you could pull that look.
If you dipped your hair into that black tar that we were smelling last episode, then maybe we'd be getting close. But no, I think your new hair, I didn't notice that you got a haircut, but I think when you have longer hair, it's not such a different change. It does look good now that I'm looking at it.
That's totally fine, Stuart.
Love the layers, love the bounce. You look great.
Thanks.
Come on.
My curls are accentuated. How are you, Stuart?
Oh, boy. What a week it's been. Guys, I'm in the throes of pre-production on a short film project and stressing my little buns off about it.
You're the busiest I think I've ever seen you.
Yeah, which is not saying much. I'm a particularly slothful person when it comes to the 7 deadly sins. I mean, I know it's Pride Month when we're recording this, but personally, I'm a sloth. Tony,
absolutely.
Which sin are you?
This is
gluttony. No, I'm not the sin of envy because I've got it pretty good right now. It's great living in the tee-hee-hee capital of the United States, Chicago, Illinois.
The what?
Chicago, Illinois, the undisputed tee capital of the United States.
Undisputed in that no one has ever said that about any city ever. So
No, it's a hotly contended title.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, it seems like we're all in a pretty poppin' mood today.
Yeah, this is kind of exciting. I feel like despite the state that we have to talk about today, I feel like we're going to have a kind of a good time.
Whoa, yeah. No spoilers about our opinions on the state, but who are we going to be talking about it with?
Well, that's a really good question, Stuart. So why don't we welcome on the guest right now and let him into this hot room? So let's welcome our guest to the show. It's Chicago home-based comedian Aaron Burzak.
Hey, thanks for having me.
Thanks for coming on the show, man.
Hello, Aaron. How are you?
I'm doing pretty good.
What 7 deadly sin are you?
Oh, that's a good one. Definitely got a little bit of gluttony and sloth in me.
Sure.
Good ones.
Pride is up there.
Sure.
But ultimately, it's wrath. I can't control my temper.
Man,
Yeah.
you got to stop slamming on the streets of Chicago, though. That's all these potholes.
Well, yeah. No, I came out here just to let my mean streak out. You know.
Well,
Yeah.
good for you.
You did kick in our front door when you got here. You could have just texted one of us to let
I
you
like
in.
to announce myself.
Right, and that's pride, I suppose, as well. This is a sinful podcast.
It's good that you like to announce ourselves, unlike our landlord, Brad, who
we know. Keep going.
We said we wouldn't do this, but listeners, if you do hear some whistling in the background, that's the wind whistling through our door hole.
Our door hole.
Our door hole. All that was left after Aaron pulverized the door. He's got splinters in his hands.
Yeah, Aaron, you're a tough dude. You're a bigger dude. You're absolutely cut. Can I ask you what? Do you work out, Aaron?
No.
Yeah, me neither.
Yeah, when you say cut, you mean cut from a JV football team?
Oh, true story.
That's brutal.
When were you cut from JV football?
Oh, that would have been my sophomore year.
You were cut, like the coach said you're not allowed to be on the team anymore?
Like straight up, they're like, this is going to be the first year not everyone who came out for the team is going to make the team.
Ouch.
And then I became an athletic assistant. So, yeah, I got to wrap some ankles. I made out pretty good.
But it's good for you getting experience in an AA program that early.
Yeah.
This was in high school?
Yes.
What high school did you go to?
I went to Salem High School.
What was the mascot?
The Blue Devils.
Go Devils!
What is this, Duke University?
Leave. Aaron, so that is, of course, in the state we're talking about this week, New Hampshire, correct?
Absolutely.
So you grew up there for how long? Or did
I moved there in the cusp of 8th grade, 7th, 8th grade.
So you would say you spent sort of your burgeoning teen years there.
Very much so, my adolescence, yeah.
Where are you originally from?
I was born in Virginia, but I moved to Wisconsin when I was about 4 years old, and then moved to New Hampshire after that.
Would you say that New Hampshire really defined who you are today over Virginia?
Definitely over Virginia.
Yeah.
Certainly. Yeah.
Well, if the listeners at home, you'll remember we had on Alan Lucas for our Virginia episode. This was weeks ago, but Tim and I just discovered that the chili that was served on that episode is still in our fridge.
Oh yeah, the Brunswick stew is
Are
still
you serious?
Yeah, we just saw it yesterday, and it looks fine.
It looks
fine, but
hey, keep it around another week. We'll use it on the July 4th special.
Yeah,
that would be a fun gift for Alan.
Oh, that is a fun gift. Maybe I'll make it again. That's a good idea.
Fun.
Anyway, we're not here to talk about Virginia. We're here to talk about New Hampshire.
We're here to talk NH. So where in New Hampshire did you grow up?
I was in Salem, New Hampshire. So
Salem.
My house was literally on the border of New Hampshire and Massachusetts, right around there.
Oh.
So it's the southern part of the state.
Okay.
And both Massachusetts and New Hampshire share a city named Salem.
They're two separate ones. So always have to explain I'm not from the which one. Yeah.
Are they next to each other?
Not at all. No.
Oh,
wait a minute. Salem, Massachusetts has witches. Salem, New Hampshire has devils. Oh, we're talking sins on the podcast. Guys, I'm freaking out. Well, how did you enjoy you left for college? I remember you were talking about you went to college in
Philadelphia, Drexel University.
Philadelphia. So I assume you left around 18. How was those, I don't know, 8 years in New Hampshire or so?
Oh, full of mistakes. Yeah.
Do you enjoy it? Do you have any fond memories when you look back? Do you still go back and visit sometimes?
Yeah, I'm heading back in a couple weeks for my oldest friend's wedding. Really excited to go back. I go back normally about once or twice a year. And it's honestly, it's one of the most scenic and beautiful states and I like going out there just to get out on a pond or go hiking and stuff like that. So nowadays it's more of an escape, but when you live there, it's still like growing up.
Get out on a pond, huh?
That sounds like a lot of fun.
Yeah, are you talking during the winter with some ice skates on?
No, normally just like in the summer with like a kayak or something.
Oh, cool. That must be a short ride.
I talked a little bit about skiing at the top of the podcast. Is that something that you're interested in? That you do ski?
I never
board.
Yeah, I never really got into skiing or snowboarding, though it is immensely popular out there. My parents preferred activities where you didn't have to pay a lot of money to participate.
Understandable.
So I didn't really get as much exposure. Did some cross-country skiing, but that's just complicated walking.
Yeah, right? That's like the worst Olympic sport there is because like they love to show it. And especially, what is the one where they cross-country ski and then they lay down and they shoot and then they walk more?
Yeah. I thought that was cross country, like the appropriate cross country skiing was you cross country ski and then you shoot shit.
Yeah, no, that's its own separate thing, but I don't know what it's called either.
Well, Olympic Committee, if you're listening, go ahead and tweet at us with the hashtag. I don't know. What are we thinking?
Ski or pee?
What is the pee part of that?
Well, when you're cross country skiing, you gotta pee sometime.
I was going to say P stands for the pop of the gun.
P stands for the pond. And
get off this pond. What are we?
All right, well, let's get off.
Tell that to Aaron.
Let's get off this pond of self-indulgence and let's jump into the body of this whole thing, shall we? So we're going to explore New Hampshire with our five senses, and the first sense that we're going to get into is our noses. But before we get into our nose portion of the show, I believe Anthony has a game.
I absolutely do. It's called the Great Sandman Grab Bag.
Okay.
One of New Hampshire's most famous residents is actually not from New Hampshire. He was born in Brooklyn, New York, and I'm talking about the Sandman Adam Sandler.
All right,
so
indeed.
This is a two-part game, and the good part about this game is that everybody wins, but there will be one ultimate winner. So what I need you guys to do is just reach into this black bag and grab a DVD case.
By the way, for the listeners at home, Anthony has a black bag. You might hear some stirring and whisking as well. That's the preparation of the smell segment. But Anthony is holding a black bag. Inside of it is a white bag. It's double packed.
Yeah, I just don't want anybody to cheat and look at the cover art and try to grab for their favorite flick, because I know that there are some classics in here.
Understandable.
Now, as you reach in, do not look, and feel free to kind of shuffle around the options here.
Great. Aaron, you'll be going first, deep in the bag with your hand.
Oh, yeah. He's getting real deep in there. Arm deep. Oh, wow. You actually bought DVDs.
Absolutely.
Oh my God.
What do you have there, Aaron?
Oh, I have Grown Ups, the classic Adam Sandler, Kevin James.
Wow, yeah,
very cool.
That is a good classic too.
Love the cover of it. Of course, it reminds us of that famous scene where they're all wearing swimming shirts at the water park.
Absolutely.
Now,
Stu's shuffling around in there. He's pulled out an option.
I of course grabbed Grown Ups 2. Yeah. Also, on the cover of Grown Ups 2, interesting, they're jumping into water again in swimming shirts. Do these guys not have the confidence to go topless? What's going on?
Okay, well, sick. I just reached my hand into this thing and I got the longest yard.
Yeah,
which
fantastic.
is I'm actually really excited.
Here
about
comes
this.
the boom.
Now, guys, Adam Sandler, of course, these are all classic films that make us all laugh. If you take a peek inside these covers, though, you'll notice one thing.
Whoa, they're empty.
Yep.
What the fuck, Anthony?
They're empty, but I have here several envelopes.
Okay.
Now, you guys are going to walk away with whatever combination you pull, but if you happen to pull the DVD that belongs in there, you win the final DVD.
Okay, I guess I'm a little confused what the game aspect of this is.
A game of chance.
Yes.
All right.
I think he's just trying to give away his Adam Sandler
It
movies.
seems that way.
No, I actually bought these specifically for this purpose. Aaron, why don't you grab a DVD? So you'll be walking away with Grown Ups cover, but what DVD is going to be in there?
Well, I've got the longest yard.
Oh.
So only one person left at this table can win the game.
Damn, yeah.
All right.
I guess that disqualifies Tim from winning the game.
Okay.
All right,
but
Tim, why don't you grab a
yeah,
DVD and
you
then
should
we'll
pick-
see what happens.
Just to see what you get. It could be exciting. It could be pretty lame. Let's see what happens, Tim. Go ahead and grab one of those
Either way,
envelopes.
it's exciting.
Here, okay, I'm grabbing this envelope here, and I pulled Big Daddy.
Whoa!
Hell yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
None of us picked that one in the first place, so maybe I'm the winner by default.
Yeah, big surprise. Who's on the cover of the DVD you pulled there?
I can't tell, but it's a man in a red and yellow jumpsuit with. Who is this?
That's the Sandman,
oh,
dressed up in a scuba suit.
and who's the Sandman? In the
Adam
movie?
Sandler.
Oh, okay. I thought you were talking. I thought there was a character in the movie Big Daddy named Sandman.
No, why? So just so you don't ruin that DVD, you're going to be watching it so many times it's going to get scratched up anyway. Why don't you pop it in that disc case for Longest Yard? Because that's how you'll be preserving it for the rest of your
That's a good
movie
point.
watching
That's a
career.
good point.
Okay, great.
Stu, why don't you grab the final envelope? Now you are the only one who has the chance to win here, so
True.
I want you to consider carefully which which of the
here's the thing. There's only 2 DVDs remaining, and I know one of them is Grown Ups 1 and one of them is Grown Ups 2, I assume.
Yep.
So no matter what, I am going to be walking away with a fat W because these are some of the best comedies of the 2000s, right, guys?
Yeah, for
and I'm
sure.
shuffling the
Absolutely.
2 envelopes.
It's the
so Stu
Expendables
can't
of
cheat.
comedy.
Oh, have you guys seen either of the Grown Ups movies?
No.
I think I've seen the first Grown Ups movie.
Oh,
I don't think I've
okay.
seen Grown Ups 2 though.
Grown Ups 2 is arguably a plotless film with the worst writing I've ever seen, but I've seen it multiple times for some reason.
Grown Ups 1 though has chocolate wasted as the joke, right?
Yeah,
that's the chocolate
I
wa-
want chocolate wasted. Yeah,
Yeah.
but Grown Ups 1 also has that great gag where they're like, Dad, don't pee in the pool. There'll be the chemicals in the pool that make your pee blue. And then
right.
the whole pool is blue when Kevin James friggin' dumps his gallon or whatever.
We all remember, but Stu, you've pulled a DVD. Now, have you won this game?
I will be revealing it. You're all just looking at your reflections in the back of the DVD right now. This is great radio. Are you ready for the flip?
Yes.
Well, I'll count down from 3, but I can stop at 2. It's Grown Ups 2!
Oh my God, you have won,
Wow.
which means that you also get the case for Big Daddy with Grown Ups 1 inside.
Well, that's
A
not
double
that's not, hold
DVD
on. That's
pleasure.
not, I don't want that.
Too bad. You won.
Okay.
Wow. You know, I'm kind of glad that we didn't get like his later films like Ridiculous 6 or Sandy Wexler.
Well, of course, those movies were only released on Netflix, so it'd be pretty hard for us to have a physical DVD.
Oh. Well, they wouldn't release DVDs of that? Like not even in the bin?
No.
Oh.
They would be absolutely pissed. Just like Aaron seems to be about the game's concept in general. Aaron,
No, I'm thrilled. I'm going home and watching this tonight.
The Longest Yard?
Absolutely.
God, remember when Chris Rock gets blown up and they're all sad about it?
It was.
I love The Longest Yard.
Yeah.
Anthony, is this the whole game?
Yeah. What'd you think?
Wow.
Aaron, do you relate to this game at all?
I mean, I did watch Adam Sandler films in my youth.
Okay.
Just none of these.
Sure.
Did you know he had that New Hampshire connection? Because he does talk about it in several of his films.
I'm well aware. There's actually a few prominent comedians from the same town as him.
Oh, is that
Is that
so?
true? Interesting.
Who, do you know who?
Yes, I do. I was wondering if you did.
Oh,
I
what can
know
we guess?
Sarah Silverman.
Sarah Silverman for
Sarah,
one.
the Silv dog.
And then I think John Mulaney, I thought I read somewhere.
I think John Mulaney's from Chicago.
Yeah, John
correct?
Mulaney's from here, but both Seth and Josh Myers
Oh, yes.
are
That's
from
nice.
Manchester, New
The
Hampshire.
Myers brothers.
Exactly.
So
Wow.
funny. And you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now,
That's a good point.
now speaking of cast members of Mad
That
TV.
household name.
Cast members of Mad TV. Stu, do you think that Aaron looks like
Ike Barinholtz?
God
Yes, I
damn
did.
it, every time.
Aaron, I am so sorry. And it sucks because, I mean, you're in the Chicago comedy scene now.
Yeah.
Where Ike is a monster who we pray to day and night like he's our mecca. But how do you feel sort of resembling him?
I've never considered him an attractive man, so
Yeah, he definitely gets a lot of side roles. But if you've seen Blockers, he actually delivers a great performance. So maybe you have a chance to get cast as him in Blockers too.
Absolutely. And real quick, I just want to take a look at that Grown Ups DVD cover. If you had to marry one of the Grown Ups,
Okay, and we're looking at the Grown Ups from Grown Ups 1, which of course includes Rob Schneider, who was left out of Grown Ups 2 because of his anti-vaccination politics.
Oh, is that really true? Robbie Schneider is anti-vax?
Yep.
I was going to say I was going to marry him until I learned that information.
Why, you want to hurt your kids?
Well, no, I don't. That's why I will not be marrying him.
That's
Rob
fair.
Schneider is anti-vax because he believes that the plot of The Animal actually happened.
Okay, out of these
Wow.
5 grown-ups, Aaron, who on there is catching your eye? Romantically, of course.
David Spade.
Oh,
The Spader.
Wow.
Let me ask, is he wearing a hat on the cover of your DVD?
No, he has a headband on.
Yeah, he's wearing a hat in mine. Does anyone else think that David Spade might not be confident about the top of his head?
Strong possibility.
I don't want to hurt his feelings. Anthony, who do you want to marry of the grown-ups?
Kevin James and I have a lot in common, but maybe we'd rub each other the wrong way because we have a little too much in common. I'm gonna marry Chris Rock.
Ah, you're going to give him a big rock for his finger.
Absolutely.
Man,
Nice cubic zirconia.
the remainder of these,
Yeah, it's getting tough.
Of these husbands, I don't know if I can really pick one. I guess Kevin. I mean, I really don't want to marry Rob Schneider or Adam Sandler.
Yeah.
I feel like
Yeah.
Adam Sandler kind of has a smelly weenie.
Okay. Sort of weird, but okay.
Jesus.
I guess that leaves me picking between Kevin James and Rob Schneider. Gotta go with Rob Schneider on this one,
Wow.
guys. Have you seen Rob? His Netflix series?
What is it?
I have not.
It's Rob, but it's with
Oh.
2 exclamation points, one upside down in the beginning because the premise of the show is that he marries into a Latin family, and it's like, how's Rob Schneider gonna handle that? I don't know. I think it was canceled, but he's my husband now, so I gotta watch it. What am I gonna do?
Sounds like Rob Schneider himself was canceled after those anti-vax remarks.
nice, dude.
All right, y'all. So we have a lot of watching to do after this. I would say right away, this is the most successful game in Statesman history.
Yeah, Aaron, I know we told you the record was going to be 2 hours, but we're also going to be watching 4 full Adam Sandler movies after this. So what are we going to do?
Well, we should move on to the next segment.
I
shall
agree.
We? All right, cool. So that was what was the game called?
The Great Sandman Grab Bag.
Okay, well, that was the Great Sandman Grab Bag. Let's move on to our next regular segment. We're gonna start exploring new. God damn it! We're gonna start exploring New Hampshire with our 5 senses, and
Yeah.
to start, we're gonna start by smelling what New Hampshire has to offer. So, what I've done is I've prepared a very, very hot pot full of some brown stuff, and what we're gonna do is pass this nice hot stuff around and see what you guys can get out of it.
Now, this pot is hot.
This pot is hot. Do not touch the red part of it. It's red hot.
It's glowing red. It's burning through the table. I'm putting my schnoz deep into it now.
All right, go ahead, Stu. Tell us what you're kind of pulling out of that.
Ooh, that smells really good. It's chocolatey, of course.
Of course.
You said brown stuff. I was a little worried. What with the grown-up style potty humor available on the table. But no, it's certainly a cocoa, but it's like a creamier cocoa. I don't know. It reminds me of it smells exactly like something I've tasted. I can't put my finger on it. Aaron, what do you think?
I don't know. It seems like a watered down brownie mix almost, but
Ooh.
yeah. But
okay.
I don't think that's what it would be.
I hope not. I don't understand why that would be.
So
No,
what are you
I did
smelling,
not
Anthony?
prepare. I did not prepare for you watered down brownie mix.
Anthony?
it looks like diarrhea in the pot.
okay.
Okay.
It really does. It looks like coarse diarrhea.
I
but
know normally you guys tell this to me, but Anthony, this is the smell segment, not the fucking visual one.
I was
dude.
just remarking. Okay.
Good point, Stu. Thanks for defending me
It
on
smells
that.
delicious. It smells delicious. I did accidentally pull the pot a little too close to my nose, and I hit the bridge of my nose on the rim.
Jesus Christ.
Well, so what I've prepared for you all today is it's not necessarily a smell that is commonly or directly associated with New Hampshire, I would say, but more tangentially, just because of how well known it is for its ski resorts. And honestly, when you're traveling down a nice run off the top of a mountain,
Double
and you
black
get-
diamond.
and you get to the bottom to the resort, and you want to sit on a nice wooden porch in the cold, what better thing to drink than a bunch of hot chocolate?
Very nice.
That's what it is.
Aaron,
Very
I know
thick
that
hot chocolate.
Yeah, it is so thick.
It is a thick hot chocolate. And before I before we started recording today, I was saying, "Oh, I fucked this up. Oh, I fucked this up." Yep, and I definitely did fuck it up because I don't know what happened, but it is just a thick mixture of chocolate at this point and not milky enough.
That doesn't seem like a bad thing.
No,
to
I
me.
mean a viscous hot chocolate.
Yeah, I want to dip stuff in. Honestly, I have some. Do you guys mind? I have some Biscoff coffee cookies in the kitchen. I would love to run and go grab those real quick.
Yeah, that'd be
Aaron,
awesome.
maybe you can talk about how hot chocolate, if any way, kind
Relates to your experience of New Hampshire.
Hey, Stu, Biscoff.
of fucking.
God, fuck Anthony. Aaron, does hot chocolate relate to your experience in New Hampshire whatsoever?
Absolutely. I don't think there's anyone who's like lived in that climate who doesn't have like, hot chocolate related memories.
Yeah.
You know, that was definitely my parents' main form of bribing me into like shoveling the driveway. Was like, yeah, we go out, I'll make you a nice hot chocolate when you come back in. You know, and yeah,
that's actually kind of nice.
Yeah, nice way to warm up. You know, when your bones are freezing, chattering, you get that really hot piping chocolate.
Yeah. What I added to this one, I added a little bit of cayenne pepper. I added some cinnamon, so you're gonna get a little bit of spice, a little bit of sweetness. So why don't you go ahead and dip your little crackers in there and let's see if this actually tastes any good.
You know, when you said a little bit of sweetness and a little bit of spice, a little kick, that reminds me of the reviews I read for Big Daddy when it came out. Pretty sweet, but it's definitely raunchy, huh?
Super spicy, and it's gonna kick you in the face with comedy.
That's tasty.
Stu doesn't fly enough to get his fill of these airplane cookies in a year, so...
I love these cookies, guys. They're some of my favorite foods.
What, Aaron, you know, what other smells of New Hampshire would you commonly associate with the state? You know, I could pull out maple syrup or like, you know, the smell of a hot mountain.
Yeah, Hot Mountain's up there, I'd say. No.
Guys, Game of Thrones is over. We can stop talking about him.
Yeah.
Aaron, what smells? What are you thinking?
I don't know. Like for me, it's a lot of that like smell of nature vibe, like being out in the woods and you get that like, you know, that fresh, crisp smell.
A smell that I really am trying to tap into in the core of its essence.
I mean,
its essence.
You've been trying for 30-something episodes to capture the idea of fresh air from a state, and it's just not
difficult to get. Yeah,
it's impossible.
It's like lightning in a bottle, but I think.
Well, no,
I think one day science will prove that I can do such a thing.
Well, we can only hope that we're alive to see it.
I'm looking up the mountain and I'm seeing the snow-covered summit, and I'm wondering if I'll ever get there. But I think with the help of my friends, maybe I will.
Grab my hand.
I can't reach.
Grab my foot.
I can't reach.
As grown-ups teaches us, with a little help from your friends, anything is possible.
I love this.
All right. Well, that was my that was my spell segment.
But we have to find a way to rate it, right?
Yeah.
And I think I have the right scale.
Stu, let's hear your scale.
We've been talking about Adam Sandler this whole time. So, Aaron, out of the ridiculous 6, how many ridiculous characters would you give this smell?
You know that it's. I love chocolate. It's very welcoming. Reminded me of home for sure. So I'll give you all ridiculous 6.
Wow, I'm totally ridiculous. Okay, cool. I have achieved a full ridiculous 6 cast of an Adam Sandler
and it's
movie.
up for the viewers at home to see if that's a good or bad thing to be a full ridiculous 6.
I guess that is true. There are a couple of really, really distasteful jokes in that movie. But in any case, I have achieved all ridiculous 6 of them. So that was the smell segment. We have another regular segment prepared for you all, and I believe Stuart has prepared it for you in an auditory way.
Holy diver, you've been down too long in the midnight sea. Oh, it's becoming over.
This is so rad.
No!
I didn't know that this is from New Hampshire at all.
Yeah, dude. So that is, of course, Ronnie James Dio.
Wow.
With the song Holy Diver, one of his biggest hits ever. Dio was born in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, which is, Aaron?
Yeah, no, I've been there.
Okay.
Nice little ocean town. Yeah.
Wow, would you expect the king of heavy metal vocals to come from there?
I honestly was not aware he was from Portsmouth.
Well, there you go.
I'm pretty excited. There's a nice little tradition.
Let me inform all of you guys right now. Dio, of course, performed with multiple metal bands throughout his tenure as a singer, most notably taking over for Ozzy Osbourne when he left Black Sabbath in 1979.
Is Dio only one dude?
So Dio, his name is Ronnie James Dio. He's been the frontman for multiple groups, but he also had his own solo group, which is just Dio.
You know, I'm thinking of Devo.
Ah,
Definitely a different type of group.
Yeah, that was Whip It.
look,
Yeah.
I know you're thinking of Whip It, and it's because on the cover of this album for Holy Diver, the devil is whipping a priest with a gold chain.
Yeah,
You know, another really cool album cover would be the devil doing whippets.
definitely.
Well, as a child, Dio was a trumpet player, which he says paved the way for his iconic voice and breath control. He never took any voice lessons of any kind.
Yeah, a trumpet player. That's why there are 2 horns on the cover of that album.
Oh, you're talking about the metal horns on his hand? Well, guess what, Anthony? Ronnie James Dio is the inventor of the iconic sort of devil horns gesture that you make, with your pointer and your pinky, and you go at it. And
Sick.
He is the inventor and proliferator of that goddamn thing that we're all doing constantly on this podcast to signal how rad a segment is or is not.
Right. And we've been doing that for the past 30 episodes. So, listeners, whenever you're out there and you hear us get a perfect score, throw up a couple of devil horns.
Yeah! So, guys, what do you think of Dio?
I love Dio personally.
Yeah,
Yeah, I mean, anyone who can take a band, call it Rainbow, and put out metal
right.
is always going to be impressive to me. So
I mean, the guy is technically just a very impressive vocalist who kind of revolutionized a whole genre of music. And if you hear that clicking in the background, it's not a drummer trying to start a 4 count to get into a metal song. It's Tim whisking this pot of goo.
Yeah, so for my taste segment, that will happen in the future. I am live cooking this, so that's why we have the hot pot or the hot plate on our table. So, Stu, this isn't about the taste of New Hampshire, though. It's about the audio.
No, and you're absolutely right, which is why I want to get back to it before we run out of time.
Dio rules.
Yeah, Dio's pretty cool. I think I saw them or saw him on Colbert.
It's just too little, too late.
Oh, I forgot she was from New Hampshire.
Did you at some point know that?
Yeah.
That JoJo, of course, was who we were just listening to with her song Too Little Too Late, is from New Hampshire. She was born in Vermont, but raised in Keene, New Hampshire.
Wow.
Pretty cool.
Star of the hit film RV.
Not just RV, Aquamarine as well.
Oh, shit.
That's right. She's actually been in a couple of things. Aaron, you're jumping out of your chair. Do you love JoJo?
I've always been in love with JoJo personally. Yeah, no, word got out about her at a very early age, and
Word got out.
Yeah, there's just cults of. No, I actually am not really familiar with who she is.
That's fair.
But I did see RV with the. Yeah, that was the Robin Williams movie.
Yeah,
right? Yeah,
where he can't get reception in the woods, so he climbs to the top of a mountain. Kind of like a Prince Valiant move, if you ask me.
Well, guys, let's leave the prince and talk about the princess of pop. That's JoJo. She was singing in the church as a child, and then at age 6 was offered a record contract by Aaliyah's uncle, who claims Aaliyah's dead spirit brought JoJo to him.
Oh my God.
Yeah, nothing creepy about that. Her first album sold more than 4 million copies, and in her total career, she sold something like 8 million copies. So she's a fairly successful artist. But through a bunch of label issues and drops in like the 2010s, she is sort of more remembered now, I think, for her roles in Aquamarine and RV.
Didn't she re-release that album track
Yes.
for track
Mhm.
now that she has grown up and been able to kind of really put some more meaning into those?
She did, yeah, because originally she's singing all of these like love songs, these big like ballads and shit, and she was like 14.
Yeah, and it was poppy and it didn't really have any weight behind it, but then she re-recorded it and it all slaps.
Well, I don't know if it slaps, but it certainly claps.
That song slaps and claps.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, I think that song laps and claps
What
and
is
slaps.
what is it? Bringing out an improv team?
Whoa. Aaron is. Yikes.
Aaron just spit on the ground in disgust.
Yeah. Aaron is visibly angry
We're
about
gonna have
that
our
joke.
first walkout.
I warned you guys about the wrath. All right.
Well, speaking of wrath, let's talk about an aspect of JoJo that I don't think a lot of people know. Her first song was, of course, titled. Well, I don't want to spoil it, but did you guys know that it helped inspire one of the now most indelible horror films of the 2010s?
JoJo?
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
Well, her song was called Leave, parentheses, Get Out, which I
Oh my
assume
God,
Jordan
stop.
Peele
Shut the fuck up. Shut the fuck up,
pulled
Stuart.
his inspiration from for the film. Now, do you guys have any personal connection to JoJo whatsoever, or is this just one of those like kind of pop stars that will be left in the early 2000s past?
Early 2000s past, I think.
I feel
I have a
yeah.
personal
feel
vendetta
closer now,
against
but-
you, Stuart.
My sister was obsessed with JoJo and would always like play her CD in the car, and I would always like moan and try to get it turned off.
moan.
I'd always like,
I'd always start moaning.
okay,
JoJo.
stop. I did have a crush on JoJo. I thought she was very pretty, but I hated her music, and I would always argue with my sister. And then I finally grew to an age where I was like, okay, I can get behind this a little bit, especially when she re-released that album. I didn't listen to it all the way through, but when I heard some of those hits, I was like, damn, it's awesome that she's revisiting this and really like reclaiming these hits.
So Anthony, to sum that up, moans and wants to get behind JoJo.
Jesus Christ.
So to move forward, we were just talking about one artist that we think could be left in the early 2000s, but I kind of want to talk about another pop star who maybe deserves to stay in the same place. Let's get sweet. The song's name is Candy. The singer is Mandy Moore, that is.
Mandy Moore is from New Hampshire? Mm-hmm. Man.
That's right. Mandy Moore was born in Nashua, New Hampshire. Aaron?
Nashua.
New. Well, she skyrocketed to success with the release of this song, Candy, in the early 2000s. It was a huge hit, a TRL staple. And in the music video for the song, Mandy and her friends drive a lime green slug bug to the local malt shop and have a wild dance-off with some scooter punks in the parking lot.
I didn't know that Mandy Moore was a singer before she was an actress.
Exactly what I wanted to talk to. After earning 2 platinum albums, she transitioned mostly into acting. Now she's known for the NBC show This Is Us, where she got nominated for like a Golden Globe and won like a SAG Ensemble Award.
Shit.
Yeah, This Is Us is a very popular show. She's on it, but something I want to talk about a little more with you guys and see if you remember it, because it's
more.
a little bit Mandy Moore with you guys, is that she was also in a movie called Chasing Liberty, where she played the president's daughter.
Yeah.
Yeah, I attribute this film as my sexual awakening as a very, very young boy. I remember seeing this in theaters, and it's like a PG romantic comedy about like a Secret Service agent falling in love. And I thought Mandy Moore was the prettiest person I'd ever seen. And I'm shook up right now. You hear that sizzling. It's not Tim baking whatever he's making. It's me steaming up thinking about Mandy Moore.
Aaron, what was my first sexual awakening? Was Britney Spears, 6 years old. What was your sexual awakening?
Well, funnily enough, it actually was Mandy Moore, but for me, it was A Walk to Remember.
Oh my God.
A hot roll, a spicy roll.
For me, it was Odie in the Sunday Funnies.
Oh
You
my
wanted
God.
to-
You weren't a normal guy?
You wanted to fuck a dog, Anthony? You wanted to fuck?
No.
You wanted to fuck?
No, I retract. I'm sorry. I got the characters confused. I was talking about John Arbuckle.
An absolute hottie. Well, I mean, do you guys have any particular feelings about Mandy Moore, or like what's the deal with Mandy Moore?
I'm just surprised that she was a singer before that she was an actress, and I wonder where Mandy Moore is now, because I want more.
She's on This Is Us. Pretty easy to
yeah.
find.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah, God damn it! I'm busy cooking this taste right now.
Yeah, and it looks to be going pretty well. I think that Mandy Moore is always read as a very like sweet, kind person, and I don't know if there's any actual basis to that, but she's always projected that. So I find that commendable. A lot of people, when they get huge in the world of pop, can become monsters, and Mandy Moore has always kind of seemed to avoid
She seems
that.
down to earth, sort of has that girl next door, like very relatable human vibe to her. I want to ask Aaron, do you feel like New Hampshire helped give her that natural down to earth feeling?
No.
Damn. A state of elitists.
No, I mean, I Mandy Moore seems really cool, but I've definitely met my fair share of people in New Hampshire that are anything but that. So I'm just gonna give credit to her parents.
Let's elaborate on that a little bit.
Yeah,
let's elaborate on that a little bit because in our Massachusetts episode with Lily, we kind of stumbled upon that Northeast elitism.
Mm-hmm.
Do you find that in that New England region that really like upper crust and kind of frou-frou, like looking down on people ever?
Yeah, there is a lot of that. I just find it interesting because it often in the New England you get the association of liberal elites, and I find that's not always the case. There's definitely this thing of like the further north you go, the further south you are, and yeah, and so like there's a lot of that. A big libertarian state, so.
Really? Yeah, you don't pay personal income tax, which is crazy.
Yeah,
or sales tax.
There's no sales tax. They really fuck you in property tax. Yeah, my dad will tell you all about it.
We'd love to have him on, by the way.
So a lot of businesses actually have their headquarters located in New Hampshire, so they pay those lower rates.
Yeah, our tax system works perfectly. We have no problems with it. But I want to know. Just let's go around the table. Generally, with the audio segment so far, do you guys want Mandy Moore or is this a Mandy Bore?
I don't know. Mandy Moore did something for me at one point, and now I'm kind of snoozing.
More like Mandy Boraphil. That's a reference to an Adam Sandler movie we all love.
Yeah, and which one, Anthony?
Billy Madison. Right?
I don't know, Anthony.
Guys, I want to explain something real quick.
Go ahead.
Okay.
I'm having a great episode today because I've been inspired by the hit comedies that we have on the table here.
Yeah.
Before I gave these out to you, I did sit and watch all of them.
Well, that's good.
And I could.
You've been making a lot of really cool references to them that we've been catching and loving.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm
going to get fired for this, aren't I?
You're absolutely getting fired, and I am sorry about that. But you know what is great? You did some good research because the next artist on our lineup is somebody we've already been talking about.
You don't need deck the halls or jingle bell rock, 'cause you can spin a dreidel with Captain Kirk and Mr. Spock, both Jewish. Put on your yarmulke.
Is this Adam?
Yeah, it's Adam.
Is this Mr. Sandler?
Yeah, that's the Hanukkah song. Yeah. That's Adam Sandler himself.
Okay.
Did you not know, Tim, that Adam Sandler's a musical savant?
No, I didn't.
Haven't you heard Uber driver Smelly from this new special?
Okay. I have heard Uber driver Smelly.
And it's 100% fresh. Fresh with a PH, baby.
Yikes.
Aaron, you do a lot of stand-up. Have you seen Adam's newest special?
No, I've been avoiding that.
That's fair. Do you think that when you're a 50-year-old man, you should maybe not go on tour and just be angry? Like, I feel like at some point, just stay home with your billions of dollars, Adam.
Yeah, I mean, that kind of is something I notice happens a lot with comics, is especially the ones that are uber successful. They kind of just lose touch, and then when they come back, are very unrelatable. So, man, I'd feel bad for him if it wasn't for the Ubers of dollars.
Yeah, that's true. He's making crazy money, and that's something I want to talk about in this research. Of course, we mentioned he was born in New York but raised in Manchester. Starting as a comedian, Sandler got his break on SNL in the 90s and hasn't stopped owning the comedy charts since. His popularity kind of stemmed from his performance of these, like, what Wikipedia calls them amusing songs. Which feels like they're looking down on him in some way.
Yikes.
You know, he has those like Lunch Lady Lands that we listened to, the Hanukkah song, he has the Thanksgiving song, a lot of these holiday sort of things that he would do on Weekend Update. And while he's a comedy superstar, he's also appeared in a bunch of dog shit since his career started, even though he's still considered one of the most profitable actors in Hollywood. And we can talk about it. His Netflix films are terrible, and they are the most watched thing on Netflix their platform.
I really don't. Did you guys see his most recent one?
Murder Mystery that just dropped? No.
Just dropped. It's hot. It's fresh. It's apparently 100% fresh.
Did you see it, Stu?
No, I haven't watched it yet.
Have you seen Murder Mystery, Aaron?
No, but I've seen the trailer like 5 times.
I have like
you couldn't handle the plot of the trailer.
It right now. Netflix is pushing it, so every time whatever I want to watch ends, it's like, by the way, Jennifer Aniston and Adam Sandler have teamed up. And you've seen nothing like this,
and you've never seen these two together before,
and you don't want to.
I mean, so something to be known is that Adam Sandler has his own production company, Happy Madison, and he produces most of his own films and a lot of the films of his friends. But interestingly enough, Happy Madison holds a strange record in that it has made more of the worst films in history than any other studio, just in terms of rankings. And maybe that's some recency bias, but the films Bucky Larson, Born to be a Star, Jack and Jill, and That's My Boy are all considered some of the worst in history. There's like a list of like the 50 worst films, and they are near the top.
That's My Boy is probably the worst movie I've ever seen. I really wanted to drive out of that one. I saw it at a drive-in theater, and I wanted to drive out.
Well, I feel like driving over you. That's My Boy is good.
No, it's not.
Pocket Nuggets is a funny joke.
What is a pocket nugget?
Guys, this is the New Hampshire episode, not the Sandler episode.
What is New Hampshire but Adam Sandler, like, it turned into a state? It feels like it's blue collar, but it's also really rich and elite. Like, it feels like a good representation. Aaron, what do you think? Does Adam Sandler kind of represent your home state?
I mean, yeah, to a good degree, I'd say. From my experience, a lot of the humor of that state is that kind of juvenile man-child that Adam Sandler represents.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I don't think it's a false equivalency.
Yeah, growing up in the Northeast, a lot of the humor period was just quoting Adam Sandler.
Was that you?
No, definitely not. I didn't have a strong brain for quotes.
Yeah, I still
never
don't
that
have a
kind of
very
guy.
strong
Yeah.
brain for quotes.
Gotcha.
But
Well,
Stu is picking off, what was it, hot nuggets? What, pocket nuggets?
Pocket Nuggets from That's My Boy. I wish I could remember more quotes from the movie, but I was laughing too hard to hear them. So Adam Sandler still supports his birth state and his home state, New York and New Hampshire. He considers them both his homes. In 2007, he donated $1 million to the Manchester Boys and Girls Club of his in his hometown, which is pretty fucking cool. But that same year, he donated $2,100 to Rudy Giuliani's presidential campaign.
Oh, very interesting.
When was that?
2007.
Oh, that sucks.
Why?
I don't know. Rudy is not a good guy.
Yeah.
Mr. Rudy.
I think if you asked anyone on the street whether they thought that Adam Sandler was liberal, they would probably venture a guess that yes, he is. But then you find out that behind the scenes, once you have enough money, you just have to be an asshole.
Yeah, I mean, that's true. We were just talking about that. It's like,
that's
well, you
New
don't
England
have to
way.
be, but yeah,
it's the New England way
9
of
times out of
getting
10.
so rich that you no longer have to care about other people.
Yeah.
It's that waspy kind of thing. And I mean, it's what we as white comedian men all aspire to do, is buy a house somewhere up in the Northeast and disappear forever, I assume.
Do you think that Adam Sandler wanted to vote for Rudy Giuliani in the poll of funniest SNL guest and got
Are we allowed
confused?
to be funny, Rudy? All right. Well, we probably shouldn't get into that subject matter. But the last clip I have for you guys, we kind of talked about the state motto at the beginning of the show. Aaron, could you remind us?
Live free or die.
Hell yes.
Hell fucking yeah.
Well, listen closely to this clip because it's from a film that heavily references that.
You know what you get for being a hero? Nothing. Get shot at. Get a little pat on the back, blah, blah, blah. Atta boy. Get divorced. Got a wife who can't remember your last name. Kids don't want to talk to you.
What is this, Stuart? Shh.
You eat a lot of meals by yourself. Trust me, kid, nobody wants to be that guy.
This is a recording of Aaron this morning, psyching himself up to come over here.
What was that?
That was, of course, one of the most iconic monologues in action film history. John McClane talking about being that guy in Live Free or Die Hard.
Uh-huh.
Mm-hmm.
And that relates to New Hampshire only in the fact that it shares a couple words with the motto.
Well, Live Free or Die Hard is the fourth installment of the series of Die Hard films. It was released in 2007. It stars Bruce Willis returning to the role of John McClane. Justin Long plays a hacker named Matt Farrell, and we even get a very funny cameo from Kevin Smith.
in Live Free or Die Hard.
The movie premiered to middling reviews, but as the first PG-13 installment of the series, it's also the highest grossing of any of them.
I've always wanted to see Paul Blart Mall Cop make a cameo appearance in the...
You're thinking Kevin James. This is Kevin Smith of Clerks fame.
Oh, nice. I've always wanted to see that crossover too.
You ever seen a hockey jersey? Because he was probably in it.
Jesus. You ever seen an airplane seat? He wasn't in that.
Oh, God.
Man.
The villain of the movie, Timothy Oliphant, delivers this line with a straight face. John, you're a Timex watch in a digital world.
Wow.
No way.
Yeah, pretty cool.
So up until 2 years ago, that was or maybe 3 years ago now, but that was the only Die Hard movie I had seen. So I thought that was like,
These movies suck.
Yeah, I was in no rush to see the original Die Hard because I was like, well,
yeah, I mean, so I wanted to in some way find a way to talk about this motto because it's such a cool fucking motto, and that's just a movie that I've for some reason seen a couple dozen times. Aaron, have you seen Live Free or Die Hard?
I think maybe once on FX.
FX has the movies, so
Yeah.
that's where it would be.
Yeah.
Do you think that John McClane is sort of this regular blue collar dude who has to rise up to the action and save the world time and time again? Sort of, does that represent New Hampshire in some way?
John McClane, the famous New York cop.
Yes.
No.
Wow.
Well, I mean, do you guys? I just wanted to try and start a conversation on the motto. I mean, I think it's such a cool way of representing that early American spirit of like, don't tax us, would rather be fucking all dead than have you in control of us. And it sort of speaks on the freedom of America while doing it in a badass way. And while a lot of things have changed to become a little bit more rounded on the edges, this feels like a badass thing that's been written since, I think, 1800 is when the slogan was created.
yeah.
Well, it was officially adopted in the 40s.
In the 1940s? What do you know what it was before that?
I don't know what it was before that, but it was they took it from a letter from a general, New Hampshire general, Jonathan Stark, actually.
Oh,
Yeah.
well,
formerly Jonathan
Wow.
Snow. Yeah.
Oh, fuck, yeah. Well, yeah, he was resurrected and became Jonathan
everybody
Stark.
shut up. Yeah, the letter I believe says live free or die. There is no worse evil than no freedom or
Yeah,
something.
I think it's there are worse evils than death. Something.
Yes,
like that.
yeah. So they're essentially saying it's rather better to die on your feet than live on your knees. The Zapata quote.
Yeah, I think that if in its historical context, it was a very cool slogan at one time, but I feel like anybody who clings to that slogan now is going at it with like kind of a libertarian or perspective that might lead to some kind of hateful or rough political waters.
Yeah, I think in itself, maybe it's not a bad thing, but sure, just like everything in the Northeast, white rich guys can corrupt it.
Yeah.
We're all holding Adam Sandler DVDs right now. A corruption of something so pure, comedy.
It is true, and we are giving money to Adam Sandler in royalties, I suppose.
We're also
Don't worry,
giving
there's not a lot of money.
we're also giving a lot of money to the McClane estate because I played a good 30 seconds of that clip from the movie.
That's true. Well, they are sponsoring us now.
Yeah, and speaking of movies, let's go ahead and rate this segment out of 6 ridiculous sixes. Aaron, how'd I do in representing your state?
I mean, I found it thoroughly enjoyable. I will give you
Okay.
that. I felt like
I feel that too.
I felt like you missed a couple opportunities.
Okay.
If you were going to put a movie in there, I actually would have gone with Paul Blart Mall Cop.
That's
that-
New Hampshire?
It was filmed in New Hampshire.
Motherfucker!
Oh my God.
I really could have killed it.
Yeah,
God damn
I knew
it.
some people who were extras in that.
No way.
Yeah. And then you also missed the one band I was really hoping would be part of
Who's
it.
that?
Godsmack.
Godsmack.
So they're from New Hampshire?
Unfortunately, yeah.
Man, do you think that they do a good job of representing the state?
Yeah,
I think
they are loud. They're obnoxious, and I went to school with their children, and that's New Hampshire.
What?
DOT. Yeah, some of their stepkids, but yeah,
So not really their kids.
not their kids, but
Okay. Gotcha. Well,
Dio would be proud that his legacy lived on in the form
in
of
Godsmack.
Godsmack.
Yeah.
pretty much the best and the worst of metal came from New Hampshire.
Well. So let me ask. Out of 6 ridiculous sixes, How many ridiculous 6s do I get?
I'm going to give you a 5 out of 6 ridiculous 6s.
Okay.
Oh, wow. Okay. I
Yeah,
mean,
yeah.
yeah. So you haven't made as many offensive jokes.
No, and if anything, I think the person I'm leaving out of my ridiculous 6 is probably going to be Taylor Lautner.
Oh, good. Yeah.
Didn't really take to the comedy kick in that movie.
Ronnie James Dio gets a ridiculous 666.
Hell yeah, dude. Hell yeah. Well, we should move on.
All right. Well, let's move on to the next regular segment. That was the sound segment presented by Junior Statesman Stuart Highcar. But for the next segment, it will be presented by none other than Elder Statesman Tim Ferrari for the taste segment. So what I have done today is something that I have not ever done before. For Anthony and my most recent show, Pasta Night at Angelo's, we ended up buying a hot plate to cook spaghetti live on stage. And if you got to see that in June, awesome. Thanks for coming out. So I've repurposed this hot plate to, be a little bit of a live cooking experience during the podcast. So what I've ended up doing is turning on the hot plate to medium, putting a pan on there, melting some butter, and making some pancakes. And I made, if you heard some sizzling in the background earlier, that's what it was. It was me making some pancakes. So I've passed out 4 pancakes that I made. They're kind of small. They're kind of like little dime pancakes. And then what I've also done is put a little bit of that New Hampshire kick next to it. You might know it as maple fucking syrup. Maple syrup is one of New Hampshire's largest exports or largest products that they export from the state.
Man, I thought the sweetest thing that came out of New Hampshire was Aaron.
Oh wow, that is actually really sweet, Stuart.
No problem.
Aaron, we've got some pancakes. We've got some maple syrup in front of us. How does maple syrup remind you of New Hampshire, if at all?
Oh, I mean, it definitely does. My mom's also from New England, and she always insisted on that pure, authentic, 100% maple syrup. Whereas my dad is from Wisconsin, and he just got the Hungry Jack microwave stuff, and it caused some issues in the family for sure.
Can I ask which one do you prefer, or do you see positives in both?
I see positives in both.
Yeah,
I do, but honestly, I do like this authentic stuff the best.
I'm a Buttersworth boy. I love the missus. I'd be her mister if I could, and I'd be the father to her kids. Her stepdad. Anthony, what do you think? You gnawed down this pancake. What are you thinking?
I actually started dry because Tim put it on my plate, and I was splitting it up just into more digestible chunks.
You start dry a lot.
Shut up, you fucking asshole. But I was ripping it up, and I took one bite just to test it out, and I wound up taking several more dry bites just because the pancake itself is so good. It was a wild process to watch Tim grill this up live.
Right in front of you.
Right in front of me with the heat directly in my face. So
I am sweating over here.
It's really fucking hot.
I can't believe that a hot plate just gets so hot in the ambient temperature.
Really? You can't believe that?
I just cannot believe that physics work the way that they do.
A hot plate gets hot. But I think these were a great success. That maple syrup is delicious. It's very real. You can taste that tree, and the pancakes are delight. They're fluffy, they're buttery, they're delicious. Tim, did you put any sort of like seltzer or anything in there to make those fluffy? Because that can help with the bubbles in the seltzer, kind of help lift those and make them fluffy.
Oh, what?
Whoa, really?
Yeah, that's a little hack for you folks at home. Make sure you use unflavored, or otherwise your pancakes might taste a little like an orange twist.
Honestly, that is a legitimately good cooking tip.
Yeah.
I would love to try that one.
Try it out.
It's worth it. We should try and get sponsored by Spindrift.
What's Spindrift?
You guys haven't had Spindrift seltzers?
No.
Oh, LaCroix is dead. Long live the king Spindrift.
I gotta say, I am off the LaCroix game.
Exactly.
Not on the Spindrift game. I'm on the Topo Chico game right now.
Topo Chico's great. One thing that I've had recently is Hint, the flat flavored water.
With a hint.
It's really good. Trust me, it's really good. Try it out. It's nice and ice cold, but this isn't branded content, folks.
That's true.
Yeah, we are unsponsored by all of these people.
I want to go back to Aaron, just specifically growing up with some time in New Hampshire. Does this remind you of the state, or are there other foods that you're like, that's immediately New Hampshire?
I mean, the only other things that I like immediately associate are things we had like clam shacks and
Clam shacks.
Yeah, like on the side of like an ice cream stand, but for fish. And
a hot day, we pull over the car.
Yeah, you get some get some fried clams just to cool yourself down and relax.
Cool yourself down. You're getting clams to eat.
So
New
you've never put a clam on the back of your neck to cool down on a hot day.
I'm putting salmon on the underside of my nape.
Does New England or does New Hampshire have that kind of salty New England air to it?
Oh, for sure.
Oh yeah.
Well,
Yeah, especially when you're like on one of the coasts.
Are you guys on the ocean? I don't know geography.
Yeah.
particularly.
Absolutely.
So those are
we have a
fresh
coastline.
clams.
Yeah, oh, absolutely. They're pulling them right out. Yeah.
I love a fresh clam.
Well, you know, we put the maple syrup on our pancakes, and I've taken off the cap to this maple syrup, and I really do think that we all should go around and just take a fat swig of that maple syrup.
Jesus
Oh,
Christ.
fantastic.
Stu has he's burping the maple syrup up.
Stu had at least a full shot's worth of
That was too
maple
much.
syrup.
That was
so
actually too much.
This is Canadian maple syrup.
Yeah, and I can taste it.
Yeah, it
Ooh-wee.
is not New Hampshire maple syrup. I got it from the Trader Joe's. Ooh, Aaron,
Yeah, it's worth.
that didn't sit with you well.
Now, I'd rather just drink alcohol.
Yeah, Anthony's finishing the bottle.
Just a little kiss. What did you think, Anthony?
Anthony's
So
hand
good.
literally shake.
Don't snort the maple syrup. I am not going to hand Anthony anything ever again.
He burns himself on pots and he snorts everything you give him.
I cannot believe you did that.
Oh man, it's not going up well.
No shit.
Trickling back out.
No
But
shit.
that's nice and sweet. At least it will smell good for the rest of the day.
For the rest of your life, I bet.
I wouldn't complain about that. That is honestly on the short list of smells that I would smell permanently if I had to choose one.
It's a good one, but taking a big swig of it, whoa. Shout out to Broken Lizard. You guys really are champions. Chugging syrup is harder than I thought.
It's like drinking the consistency of Pepto-Bismol.
It's like motor oil,
yeah. Oh.
Aaron,
It doesn't go down easy.
You seem to be handling it like a champ.
Yeah.
Is it that New Hampshire blood?
Yeah, absolutely.
You're already like 50% syrup, right?
easily. Yeah, you put a tap in me, it's just going to start pouring out.
I have one more question. There's a lot of like sap houses is that what they're called?
I have no idea.
Sap House sounds like the White House.
Hey. Have you ever been?
The quickest joke is the best joke. Sorry,
That's
Tim.
true.
Keep
no,
going.
No, you're great. What are sap houses? Have you ever been to one? Is that something that New Hampshire people do a lot?
I can't say I'm familiar with sap houses. If I had to guess, it sounds like that's where they collect syrup.
Yeah, that's where they that's where they get like the maple sap to make.
Yeah.
maple
Again,
syrup.
I don't think Sap House is a real term.
I would assume that's something that like elementary school kids go on a field trip for.
Oh, and you missed
I
that.
missed elementary, so I probably didn't get that full experience. But
You went to elementary school in
Virginia.
well, no, in Wisconsin.
Oh.
I was Virginia only until I was 4.
Oh,
so
shit.
you've lived in a lot of states through your
Yeah, I
life.
bounced around.
Wow. So you've seen a good handful of them. I mean, this taste is delicious.
Mm-hmm.
Is there anything else that New Hampshire kind of has to offer other than maple syrup?
Well, there's maple syrup. We've got those hot
Clams.
clams, a delicious summer treat. I mean, is there something where when you go home to New Hampshire, you're like, I got to make sure I have some of that because I can't get it anywhere else?
No, honestly, that's probably the seafood. Absolutely.
Oh, yeah.
I love
That's
it.
probably the
I guess it
seafood.
makes sense.
Yeah, because
Oh,
all
a
that out
lobster
there.
roll.
Lobsters out there.
Yeah.
Tim,
I mean,
let me
yeah.
ask, why didn't you fry up some clams in front of us today?
You know exactly why I didn't do that. Is because every time I do it, I fuck it up.
Yeah,
Although
get us
maybe
pretty
there
sick.
will be one time where I get to use the hot plate for some seafood
Ooh.
and cook up live some seafood.
Well,
yeah, you've done so well preparing seafood not on a hot plate. How could that go wrong?
And
Yeah.
definitely like not under a time constraint of it being
and a
live.
lot of pressure of us looking at you.
All right. Well, speaking of a lot of pressure and looking at me, I think we have to rate the what is it?
Well, a lot of pressure looking at you. Those are two things that are not associated with Ridiculous Six. No one's watching it and no one cares. Out of Ridiculous Six, Aaron, what would you rate this taste segment?
I mean, the pancake part was phenomenal.
Excellent.
But then that swig, just
Oh no.
didn't care for it, and I didn't get my hot clams, so I'm going to give it a 4 out of 6. Ridiculous.
Man, I honestly thought that this was a shoe-in for another Ridiculous Six, but
It was good, but I think your mistake was forcing us,
Was
holding us
forcing
down and making us
to
sip
drink that
syrup.
maple syrup. Damn it.
I would give you a 6 out of 6 for that.
Okay, well, your opinion doesn't matter, Anthony. That was the taste segment. We're going to move on to our next regular segment. Anthony has prepared for us a visual presentation, and I'm pulling up the laptop right now to hand over to Stuart.
I'll move it across the table so that Anthony has zero access to how quickly we go through it or how slowly we go through it.
Because who knows, Anthony might just take all my dead skin cells off of my keyboard and snort those if he gets his hands on it.
Jesus Christ. Fucking freak.
Yeah, fucking freak.
Little fucking freak.
All right, so Anthony, why don't you take it away?
All right, New Hampshire. There's the name of the state. We can move right into the slideshow. Here we have the state outline, an interesting shape. Kind of looks like an upside down slice of pizza or perhaps a sailboat. What are you guys seeing when you look at that state? It's kind of narrow, wider at the bottom.
Yeah, Aaron, I'll let you jump in first. I mean, this is your state. Do you see anything?
I've always just seen an upside down Vermont.
Ah, sure. It's like the opposite triangle.
Well, you guys are pretty close to each other, right?
Yeah, like Vermont's this section.
Yeah,
On
you're
the west
literally
side.
the
Yeah.
yin and yang of Northeast.
Absolutely.
The two
Geography.
states 69ing each other.
Okay.
You got Vermont, Bernie Sanders, the pure liberals, and then you got the libertarians. It really is just that back and forth of ideology.
Love
Dang.
that shit. Any border wars?
Not to my knowledge, no, but
Damn.
I'm sure that there's some words passed by.
Oh, for sure.
Drive through.
I bet there's some insults thrown at the sap house. I like this state outline. So are you telling me that this sort of bottom right, is this the coastline?
No, coastline's like right around here.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then that straight line is the border with Maine.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Okay.
And then you got Massachusetts down here. So it's like Maine comes up this way. You got coast right here, and then
Gotcha.
extend further down.
Is there a lot of like beach activity over there? Like, is there a beach that people go to?
Oh yeah, there are tons of beaches over there, and there's a lot of port towns and things like that.
I'm sorry, pork towns?
Port. So
Oh, come on,
You know, for
Stuart.
ships.
you
I
fucking-
heard pork.
Putting the ham in New Hampshire.
What's
God.
next, Anthony?
Oh wait, no, we have to. We haven't even gone around and said what this thing looks like.
Oh,
I
true.
personally think it looks like a chud with a big forehead on it.
Okay.
You can see at the bottom right that like little eye. It's got like a little jaw mouth thingy, and then the straight line from Maine. I think that's the long forehead of the chud.
What the fuck?
It's an 8 head.
It's an 8 head.
Man, I don't see that at all. Honestly, this is one of the first ones that I'm having trouble putting a shape to. But let me put it this way: if you put a handle on this side of the state, I feel like this looks like a sideways axe head.
Oh,
Interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it sort of has that sharper tip on one end that a
Sure.
fireman might use to crack into the door,
Yeah,
and
I
this
see
this
that.
end is much longer, the tomahawk's edge,
I can see that. Yeah.
which is kind of the edge we walk every week on this podcast.
mm-hmm.
Let's move right on to the state flag. Here we
Between
have
life and death.
Here we have a blue background with the state seal surrounded in a laurel wreath to represent victory. The state seal shows the USS Raleigh, a frigate, and it's placed on stocks. It's not in the water, and the sun is rising behind it. The USS Raleigh was one of the first original ships in the Continental Congress's First Navy, and there are 9 stars surrounding that laurel wreath, or within the laurel wreath, to represent that this is the 9th state. That year, 1776, represented in the seal, is the year that it became a state.
1776.
1776.
Good year to become a state, huh?
Mm-hmm.
Hell yeah.
Yeah, it was there from the beginning, and that's a pretty interesting state seal. I think that's a really lovely little image, but I don't know if I like this flag as a whole. I think it's okay.
Yeah.
I'm not a huge fan of the text kept within it. It says seal of the state of New Hampshire, and all of those are sort of broken up with little bullets. I mean, who cares? Get rid of that. It's a flag. We don't need that written on the flag. And also, inside the seal, do you guys see how the ship, the SS Raleigh, you said?
Mm-hmm.
It has the American flag on the back, but in 1776, I mean, that would look differently. Are they changing the flag every time we update it, or what's going on?
I think this is an updated version of the flag. I think they must have added that much later.
Yeah.
But that is the current official version.
Do you think when they first released it, it was a white flag?
I'm not sure.
Or a black flag?
Aaron, what do you think about this flag? Do you think it represents New Hampshire and your state?
Yeah, it seems fine.
That's a good way to describe it. I mean, like, if you... Is there any changes you'd want to make to this thing?
Not necessarily. My experience with New Hampshire, they normally just put the man in the mountain on everything. So to actually have some symbolism outside of that is a little nice. I like the variety.
Yeah.
But yeah, it's it just strikes me as a nice little state flag.
It's busy. It's a busy image. Got lots of laurels around that ship. I think.
Yeah. Well, we have 2 levels of laurels, right?
Yeah, we've got the green laurels on the inside, and then like a ring of gold laurels on the out.
Mhm.
I think I would prefer strip all the laurels out of there and get the circle and the letter out of there, or the text out of there, and just keep that nice ship and sunset going down. And you've got a beautiful looking seal and flag.
Yeah, maybe just blow that up a little bit, increase the size, get rid of the other garbage, and you're looking pretty.
Yeah, I mean, I think none of us, of course, are designers, and we're all speaking from a state of total.
What are you talking about? We have designed the perfect podcast.
Jesus Christ. We could probably move on, right?
Yeah, let's go to that next slide.
Can.
Here's the state bird. I love this choice. This is a unique choice from everything else we've seen. The purple finch.
Wow.
It's kind of a reddish purple, but it's a striking color, really unique. I think this bird looks, like any finch would. Got that blunt beak, pretty tiny, but the color is just so vivid and beautiful.
I want to say, I feel like purple finch is not the best way to describe it. This looks, at least to me, like a shrimp-colored fish. Doesn't it? It looks like a shrimp.
A shrimp finch.
Look at this. This is like shrimp meat. Its belly is made of shrimp meat. And for the viewers at home who can't think of what a shrimp looks like, this will be available on our Instagram to view, right?
Certainly will.
Yeah, so go on there, look at that shrimp meat bird. Aaron, do you see a lot of these birds in New Hampshire?
Not in my area. I don't see a ton of them, but there are like a number of just very pretty birds. You see a lot of cardinals, blue jays, that sort of thing flying around.
Well, I respect you guys for choosing a bird that hasn't been, picked by so many others.
Cardinals and blue jays, red and blue. Could this bird be a fusion of the two?
I was gonna ask you guys what 2 fusions of birds fucked to make this bird, and it doesn't really relate to the science of it all, but I would fuck this bird.
Honestly, we have so much. We have some time left. I'd love to just see. Do you guys have any 2 birds that you're like, I'd love to see them crossbreed and see what bird comes out? For me, bald eagle and a chicken. Because I want to see like the intensity and the size of a bald eagle in like the body of a chicken,
The aggressive
aggressive, very chicken. Aggressive, yes, but big, and huge.
I think I would like to see. Honestly, I think I would like to see this purple finch have sex with a pelican, because like a shrimpy pelican would be dope as hell.
Yeah,
that would be a wild mating to see.
Yeah. I would have a turkey and a vulture create the ugliest like bulbous bird.
Am I crazy? Isn't a turkey vulture a thing?
It is.
Yeah, it is. And they're all neck.
But I think they prey on. I don't think they are a combination of the two. Am I wrong?
No,
they could prey on turkey. Is that vultures that prey on turkey?
No. He's saying they're not an actual genetic mix of the two. I think you're right. I think it's just a name. But I think it's a good idea. I want to combine those weird, gross-faced birds.
I would also like to get a harpy eagle cross-mated with a blue jay and make an Articuno-esque kind of bird.
Okay, that's pretty sick. Okay.
What about you, Aaron? What 2 birds do you want to see fuck?
Hummingbird and an emu.
Oh, shit.
Emu. What is an emu?
Well,
it's a slightly smaller ostrich.
Yeah. Here's the thing. I think we all know how that would go. The hummingbird is a perfect stand-in for like a little vibrator, right?
Jeez. Okay.
Hold on a minute. No. The hummingbird is the bullet vibrator of nature.
Let's move on to the next slide.
Okay.
You blew the turkey vulture thing out of the water because a turkey and a vulture don't mix together. It really blew my mind away, because what is a spider monkey then?
Get off the island of lost dreams, Tim, and back into this slideshow, my man. What are we looking at here, Anthony?
Okay, we've got the state flower, the purple lilac. We had a purple finch. Now we got a purple lilac.
And it's purple a lot like the political leanings of people in the state.
Wow.
True.
And it's purple a lot like purple dye signifying royalty, and they are a very rich state.
And it's purple like the skin of Thanos. I love those movies.
Shot in New Hampshire.
Aaron, what do you think of this flower?
You see them all over the place. So
you do?
Yeah.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, no, I've seen those plenty of places. It's it's beautiful flowers.
They smell great.
Yeah, it's like I said before, it's a very scenic area. Like when you're driving down the highways, and especially in like the fall, and you get all this changing of colors, you get a lot of stuff like this where everything's just popping, and yeah, it's a beautiful area.
Can I ask you, I have never thought of New Hampshire as like a very natural, rugged state, but is that what, for the most part, it is?
I mean, not all of it, but when you head up north, in the White Mountains region,
right,
there's a lot of that. There's a section called the Kangamangas Highway.
One more time, please.
The Kangamangas Highway. But it was voted by Reader's Digest to be the most scenic highway in all of America.
Hot damn!
Wow.
Yeah, that's something New Hampshire's pretty proud about.
Yeah, I mean, I'm getting a little on this podcast. I have a little bit of a chubby for highways.
He's horny for highways.
Yeah, and Tim, are you pulling a hummingbird out of your pocket? What are you doing?
Okay.
My vibrator, yeah, I'm gonna turn it on and put it against my.
Everybody's turning this podcast off. Let's move on to the next slide.
Tim's balls look like a turkey vulture.
Jesus
What's this?
Christ.
It's all neck.
Okay. Here we have Manchester, the most populous city in New Hampshire and the most populous city in all of New England.
Whoa, really?
Yeah,
Wait,
truly.
Does that include Boston?
Perhaps.
That can't be true.
No, there's no way Manchester's so popular.
Guys, don't blame me if this research is wrong.
Yeah, you did it. What can you tell us about Manchester? Is it by the sea?
It is the most populous city in
No.
New Hampshire. I think I can tell you based on this photograph that it's decently colorful. It looks pretty much like any other city, like a small to medium sized city. It's got brick buildings featured heavily right at the front of this picture, and then one black skyscraper, and then what looks to be like a hotel with like the brown brick. I don't know. It's fairly nondescript. It doesn't necessarily look super huge, but there are a ton of people crammed in here.
That red house on top of that, there's a red house on top of what looks to be a hotel, and it looks like the house from Up just like landed on top of this thing. And
Tim, I don't want to crush your imagination, but I'm pretty sure that's a building behind the building you're looking at.
No way.
I don't think they built a small colonial red house on top of another skyscraper.
But it kind of, does it not look like that?
Yeah, I think that's a perspective issue with this picture. Aaron, do you think that this is the best angle to capture the scale of Manchester?
I think it's a very very adequate and accurate angle to capture Manchester.
Have you been to Manchester?
Oh, multiple times.
Okay, so tell me about that building. Is that a perspective thing or is that real?
Fairly certain it's a perspective thing.
Fuck!
So how far did you grow up from Manchester?
About a 30-minute drive.
Oh, okay. So this was like your local city.
Yeah, I would drive up there, do open mics all the time.
Damn, is there a good scene?
There's a scene.
Okay.
No, it's got a couple good rooms. What's cool about it is there are a couple of spots where they get national headliners in comedy to come up because they'll be up doing something in Boston, and Boston's about 45 minutes away from Manchester, maybe an hour at most.
It always blows my mind how close together everything in the Northeast like actually is.
Oh yeah, it's very close.
I'm so used to like Colorado West where it's like, oh, you want to go a state over? It's like a fucking 7-hour drive. But you guys are all like brothers.
Yeah, no, something I found out when I was doing a report on Wisconsin, of all places, is it's actually large enough to house all of New England geographically and then have room for a second Connecticut. So
Jesus.
Yeah.
A second Connecticut.
Yeah, so New England is a bunch of very small states put together. So
damn, they're all connected to
we see where you're going.
You're right there.
Thank you.
Manchester's also my answer when people ask me my favorite snack food mascot. Let's move on to the next slide.
You mean man, Chester?
Yep.
What's this?
Here we have Nashua. Is that the correct pronunciation? You corrected Stu earlier.
Yeah, Nashua is correct.
Nashua. Now, this is a picturesque city.
Wow.
I love this shot. We have a beautiful, what is that, a lake in the middle? A pond? Are you out on this? Are you out on this pond?
That's most likely some form of pond, perhaps a river.
I'm sorry, I can't identify a body of water based on one shot. But we do have some beautiful fall foliage changing colors throughout this pic. A couple brick buildings, a nice bridge, a fountain in the middle of this this body of water.
Yeah, this beautiful white steepled church, this brick church. It's gorgeous. I mean, this is, if you were to tell me that this shot is what comes up when you Google New England, I would believe you, because this has everything. It has Catholicism, water, leaves changing, reflections. That happens a lot in the Northeast.
Reflections?
Fountain. Huh?
Reflections happen a lot in the Northeast?
Literal, not metaphorical.
Yeah, dude.
Wow. Okay.
Aaron, have you ever been to Nashua?
Yeah, that's not far away from Manchester, so I've gone there plenty of times.
Anything to see here?
I mean, it's a great little town. It's basically this. It's got that rustic, old school New England aesthetic. It's a great little town to walk around in. They got a bunch of great, just bars, restaurants, and that sort of thing where you can just go.
Whenever I look at like towns like these, I imagine them to have a great Halloween scene. The Halloween in these kinds of towns, I bet, is lit as hell.
Yeah, I mean, fall is a big time for New England.
Yeah.
It's a big time for tourists in New England as well. People come up specifically to watch the leaves change. So Halloween being one of the central focuses of autumn, it definitely gets its fair share of love.
What's the spookiest costume you've been?
Oh my God. Answer the question.
That's a good. I normally don't go for spooky.
Okay.
Oh, you're one of these funny Halloween guys?
Well, I mean, the last big costume I did, I went as the dude from Big Lebowski.
One of the spookiest characters.
Yeah,
in
just
cinema
terrifying.
What's scarier than a man with no motivation? Do we want to move on?
Let's move on.
Okay.
Here we have Concord. The state.
That's our capital.
Tim had an immediate nasty reaction.
His face did the same thing that happened when I drank that maple syrup.
Tim, what do you hate about the state capital of Concord?
It is two colors. It's red and gray. It's not very good to look at at all.
Like a sun-bleached candy cane.
Yeah. It's decrepit looking. It looks like Soviet Russia.
Now we have cars zooming back and forth in this shot.
They're not zooming. They're
all parked.
Most of them are parked. We're looking at, I assume, like the main street and it's pronounced Concord, right?
Yeah.
Okay. What? This is the capital?
It's being conquered by cars. They're zooming back and forth.
I know. We see the cars, Anthony. Aaron, have you ever been to Concord?
Oh yeah.
Tell us about it.
It's exactly what this picture shows.
Damn.
This is one of those places. I would go up to an open mic up here because when you do comedy in New Hampshire,
you do it everywhere.
Yeah, you can't just stick to one town. So the open mic I would go to, it was this basement dive bar where the patrons were offended that you would be speaking into a microphone while they're trying to play pool. So
why would don't have the open mic, guys?
No, this was pretty much a linchpin of the comedy community.
Our number one location out here is a place where they hate us and they don't want us here.
Punchlines at Panucci's.
Oh my God,
Panucci's Pizza, baby, that's a fun one.
Punchline at
wow. So I mean,
actually, I'm pretty sure it's just right off camera, right over
like
down
right
that
in
way.
here.
Yeah.
Oh, right around the corner to the left.
I mean, are we missing much? How large is this city?
It's not large at all.
So this is like the street.
That street is pretty much it. Yeah,
but it's the capital, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So
Anthony has been laughing off mic for 5 minutes straight.
He is beet red laughing about his car joke. Like, look at him.
Aaron, when you were in Concord, did you walk around or were you driving?
Dude, what the fuck, Anthony?
Well, I would drive to get there, and then I would park in one of these many parking spots that you see here.
We see them, yeah.
And then from there, I would walk to my destination.
Ooh, a very walkable city.
Yes.
Oh man,
Anthony, please move on.
All right, so Tim, control yourself. Here we have how's this
Put away
pronounced?
your
Is it the Kankamangas Highway?
So this is actually New Hampshire 112, which I believe is also part of the Kankamangas, or vice versa. One is a part of the other. This is a 56.39 mile highway through the heart of New Hampshire, and it runs through the White Mountain National Forest. So, as you can see in this shot, on either side of the highway, there are these gorgeous trees changing color. Now, I'm surprised, this is a shot of the highway and somehow there are fewer cars than there are in Concord.
Anthony, we see it's empty. We see the street is empty, Anthony.
All the cars are in one specific city.
Maple syrup is leaking out of Anthony's nose.
Yeah, I think that's why I'm like freaking out. The sugar is going directly to my brain.
This is a beautiful picture. A sort of I'd imagine if the sun went down, this would be a very spooky road to drive down. It feels like I'm going into Silent Hill or something.
Oh yeah, there are definitely like stretches of the road where you're just surrounded by woods and there's no lights and
all I can think about is the deer that would happen to just like appear in front of you and destroy you.
Yeah,
your car.
The two glowing eyes.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you, Aaron. Are there a lot of? I mean, do you guys have any urban legends, spooky ghosts of the woods?
None specifically related to New Hampshire that I know of.
Wait, you've never heard of the Kankamangas?
That's right. Doesn't it sound so much like a chupacabra fucking thing? Like it rides around in a car.
It drinks your motor oil and then sucks your blood from your neck.
Yeah, I'm an Irish New Hampshireite. All right. Well, this is a gorgeous highway. Have you driven down specifically this kind of road?
Oh yeah. Well, I mean, the thing is, like, the Kankamangas is the most famous of them by your household knowledge of it. But no, it's so many roads in New Hampshire are just like this one. It's all foliage. It's all just that kind of that scene.
I love a wet highway.
Ah, yes.
All right, let's move on to the next slide. Here we have Mount Washington at 6,288.2 feet. This is the highest mountain in the Northeast U.S. This shot is kind of cold and stark. It's just a mountain peak covered in snow, and then a shot of some evergreens and a couple dead trees in the foreground.
Yeah.
Looks like a Bob Ross painting when he was going through a depressed spell.
Sure.
Well, just because you paint depressed doesn't mean that you feel that way. And Bob was always very prescient about talking about mental illness way before its time.
Yeah, definitely.
Shout out to the Ross man, not Rossi, Ross.
From Friends?
To me, this mountain makes me happy because as a gnarly ass double black diamond skier, this powder looks fucking fresh, and I'm ready to go down.
Are you a skier?
I can do a single black diamond.
What's the equivalent of a black diamond for a cross country skier?
I think that's like a slight incline.
Yeah, it's like a 2-degree incline, and you have to shoot squirrels in the face.
It's the kind of thing where you'd like, if you're not actively moving forward, you'll just slowly slide backwards.
Aaron, you ever been to this mountain?
I don't know if I've been to Mount Washington, but I have been up in the White Mountains a few times. Great hiking, that sort of thing.
Can I ask you, is that the Taj Mahal built on the peak? What is that?
That is, in fact, a scale replica of the Taj Mahal.
No kidding.
Yeah, it was a big project by the libertarians.
Who, of course, love the Taj Mahal.
Love the Taj Mahal and just wanted a reminder of that.
Ron Paul is always talking. Ron Paul and
the Taj Mahal.
Thank you. I couldn't get it out.
But what is that? Are those just like...
Do we know?
I think it looks like just trees, right?
Yeah, I have no clue.
Yeah, Anthony, do you know those like...
I think those are just trees covered in snow.
They're so tall. I mean, they're
high-ass
huge.
trees.
These are trees. These little black dots. I mean, something is up here, like spires and pyres.
The Kankamangas.
High above Mount Washington.
All right, let's move on. This is also Mount Washington themed. This is the Mount Washington Cog Railway. Aaron, have you ever heard of this?
Yeah.
It's a super steep railway with a specialized track. That's what a cog railway is. It kind of has a toothed track that holds it onto the tracks. But this is the first of its kind to run up a mountain. It opened in 1868 and still runs today. So it carries passengers up and down to and from the peak. Can anyone just hazard a guess as to how long it takes to ascend and how long it takes to descend?
Oh, man. Ascent is probably I'm gonna go on the longer side. I'm gonna say like 2 hours and 45 minutes to ascend.
I am willing to bet that both times are exactly the same.
Interesting.
Because I feel like if it's cogged, it's moving at the same pace up and down, right? So it's like gear work. It's not using any other an hour and a half up and an hour and a half down is my guess. Aaron?
Yeah, I would assume it would take a couple hours, probably 2 hours both ways.
65 minutes to get up there, 40 to descend.
Oh, interesting.
Okay. Yeah,
faster
but-
than I thought.
We all went, longer.
Yeah, you all thought it would be longer, but look at the power on that engine.
Anthony,
that is just
I'm so sorry. Do you often say that y'all thought it would be longer?
Stu, you've been harassing me all episode.
I've been
Yeah.
shooting shots today, my
Yeah,
man.
talking about our genitals.
Yeah, sure.
talking about genitals.
This train makes me think of insurance. It makes me think of insurance.
Why? Because they need to have it
They
insured.
absolutely need to
Accident
have this
occurs?
rickety thing insured.
Yeah, it looks pretty short. It looks like they basically have one carriage at a time, and then it's propelled by a hefty caboose.
Right. If they had another one, it would be double the amount of deaths that this thing would incur if it ever fell.
I didn't see any death toll for this train. I did see a massive death toll for the Kankamangas.
Well, the Kankamangas is eating people left and right.
Absolutely. Aaron, you've never been on this train.
I've not been on that one.
But is this feels like sort of the, my grandparents are in town.
Yeah. So this like kind of old timey train, wooden tracks is very much a New Hampshire aesthetic, I'd say. You get a lot of that. In fact, one of my really good friends, the guy who's getting married coming up, is his like family runs this like restaurant called the Wyndham Junction that used to be an old train station that they converted just to keep up that like kind of history and things like that. So you get a lot of that kind of vibe from New Hampshire.
They love that old timey late 1800s sort of
just
grit.
Exactly. It goes along with that rustic New England vibe, you know?
Yeah. Interesting. Anthony?
Let's move on. Here we have Flume Gorge in Franconia Notch State Park. It's a big natural gorge at the base of Mount Liberty with granite walls that reach up to 90 feet high.
Wow.
So this shot is absolutely stunning. You really see those giant granite walls, water trickling down. But what is once again dominating this picture are these bright orange leaves. Like this fall foliage is insane. This is some of the most beautiful tree life we've seen in any state that we've looked at.
Yeah, I mean, these are definitely a lot of great autumn picks. And you were mentioning a lot of tourists coming up that way. I know it's sort of like a stereotype for tourists to just flood the Northeast in the fall, but is that something that you like had to put up with? Was that annoying, or was it like, oh, great, we have money in our ecosystem?
Yeah, you kind of just acclimate to it. You know it's going to happen. To be quite honest, that is kind of how like New Hampshire survives, is that tourism. And also like I said, I was on the border of Massachusetts where I live. My entire town's economy was people from Massachusetts coming to buy things from us because we don't have sales tax.
Interesting.
Yeah, so
Huh.
a lot of people come up that
You
way.
guys are kind of like the airport store of the Northeast.
Sure, the duty free.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You come here, you buy some cologne, some syrup, some liquor, you put it on a plane.
This picture is so. I got to give props to whoever the photographer was, because they really hit all of those perspective lines to hit right in the center.
It's Anthony, isn't it?
I was just there.
What?
Dodging the Kankamangas. I can't stop saying it. It's too fun.
Well, I know you were focusing a lot on the foliage of the shot, which is easy to do, but you mentioned those 90-foot tall granite walls.
Yeah, look at that rock.
I think after seeing this shot, I'm finally ready to say, damn it, granite, I love you.
Aaron, have you ever visited this site?
I have not been here. I kind of want to go now, though. This is very beautiful, and I hope all the listeners at home appreciate how stunning the quality of this picture is.
listeners.
You know, I want to be baptized in these waters to become a sort of holy diver.
Jesus Christ.
Let's move on to the next slide. Here we have Diana's Bath, the small group of waterfalls in Bartlett, New Hampshire. It looks pretty straightforward. This particular shot doesn't really capture any of those changing leaves. They're all green in the background, and the stone itself looks pretty flat and gray. But those little tiny waterfalls are pretty cute to look at.
Yeah, I
They're
don't know.
pleasant.
I don't know where the bath is, but I certainly see those water showers.
Oh, it sort of feels like maybe there's a bunch of little pockets of water that you could like sit in and take a bath. Maybe this was the place where, traveling from one place to another, your group of travelers would stop and you'd all undress and sort of try and hide from each other, hide your bodies while you bathe in the water.
Yeah, but it famously does have those chemicals in it. With where you pee, it turns blue.
Grown up. I don't think Diana's a person. I think Diana is a bird or a dog. Because there's no way that a person is taking a bath in these waters. This is a bird bath or a dog bath.
Okay, I feel like that's pretty rough against a beautiful piece of terrain. Aaron, have you ever seen this?
I don't think I've been here particularly, but when you are like out in the White Mountains and hiking, you run across these types of little waterfalls all the time. And it's one of the best parts of it, I think, is when you do come across them and you can take a moment to sit down, cool off, hot clams, all that.
I was sitting in the river eating hot clams.
Slapping him on the back of my neck.
I was sitting in the river eating them hot clams, slapping on the back of my neck.
No, that was good.
We have a song here, guys.
Well,
let's move on. All right, here we have Lake Winnipesaukee, the largest lake in New Hampshire. This looks like a nice little lake spot. Lots of green and lots of lake houses right on the banks here. Lots of people tubing, having fun on single-family boats, cruising around. I don't know. This definitely looks like one of those places where you could pop in and get some clams from an ice cream shop.
Oh,
Yeah.
sure.
We're like yelled at by like a cranky rich person.
that's what I wanted to say. This looks, I know you guys said you hadn't seen Grown Ups 2. This looks exactly where they shot it. It must be like the same goddamn lake because all these houses sort of have that same vibe. There's all those small boats that can hold, an average amount of people, 4 or 5, however you want to describe that. This is gorgeous. This feels like a great place that I'd love to spend summer with Sandler, his kids, my stepkids, if I marry Rob Schneider, I guess. What do you guys think?
I don't know. I really don't have any opinions on like these kinds of areas. I think I tend to lean more negatively to like a heavily boated little lake. I don't know. It never appealed to me. Leave the lake alone.
It's dangerous.
It's dangerous and it like makes the lake disgusting. Like around the strip of these waters is probably like thick with oil and piss.
Thick with oil. Sounds like a good way to start frying up some clams, if you ask me.
Aaron, have you ever taken a dip in these waters?
Yeah, I've been up to Winnipesaukee before, but this is definitely like the New Hampshire equivalent to the tourist trap situation.
Yeah,
totally. This is where people come up because they've heard about it, and I believe it's either the Romneys or the Bushes have like a summer house up there and stuff like that. So
Probably.
it does have.
You think maybe they share it? They go back and forth?
They might.
Yeah,
I'm
it's
not
a
entirely
timeshare.
sure.
It's not the only thing they share, by the way.
But yeah, it definitely has that.
What else do they share, Stuart?
Wives. They are well-known swingers, the Romneys.
Oh, and Bush? Bush? They're well-known. What? What? Okay.
We should. I agree. This looks pretty touristy.
Yeah, but it is a nice area. It is very scenic. It is a nice lake, but it is definitely one of those more draws like that. So it's not off the beaten path.
I'm surprised. This is a lake I've heard of, and it doesn't seem like it's not that large, right? I mean,
no, it's pretty big because I don't think you get a full view of the lake. It like opens up more.
Gotcha.
Yeah, if we had an aerial shot, we'd probably get more in here, but I wanted to get some of those homes and docks in there.
Yeah, if you had an aerial shot, we'd lose out on a lot of the legs for a fin. What's next?
Huh? Oh, I see. That one took me a second. Here we have the Castle in the Clouds, mansion in Moulton Borough, built in 1914 by a wealthy shoe manufacturer, in the shape of a shoe.
No way.
No.
You're looking at it, Tim.
Well, I don't know if it's a bad angle or what. Like,
No, it's called the Castle in the Clouds for a pretty obvious reason when you see the photo. It is at a high elevation, so it is among the clouds, and it's among these beautiful trees. Once again, what a beautiful place to live for some rich asshole.
Is New Hampshire a foggy place? I feel like we've seen a lot of foggy pics.
Yeah, it can be for sure. Yeah.
Fogs, frogs, dogs. I love everything from this state. Anthony, what else should we know about this shoe house?
It was once a functional mansion, and someone did live there, but now it's owned by the Castle Preservation Society, a very snooty sounding group that is
ominous.
that privately allows people to tour these properties.
I have a feeling that the Castle Preservation Society is in some way keeping secret the legend of the Kankamanga. Just a thought.
The Kankamanga, the plural of Kankamangas.
Yes.
Now,
well, the families of them, you see.
Now, let me say, this mansion, I think, is about 16 rooms, was the breakdown that I saw.
Oh my God. Bedrooms.
Yeah, 16 bedrooms.
How many bathrooms?
I don't know. But it is gorgeous. Wouldn't this be a pretty awesome location to live? You might have to take a cog railway to get up there.
Yeah, cog railway, but talk about a food desert.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Aaron, do you have any information have you even heard of this place?
I've heard of the Castle in the Clouds. Yeah,
Okay.
I've never been.
Why would you, right?
Yeah, I'm definitely.
Maybe this is a place you'd go to prom or something.
Yeah, I think it does like wedding receptions, stuff like that. That definitely
for
seems
sure.
like something.
Is your friend getting married here?
He's not there, I don't think. I really need to read that invitation again.
What if it says, I wanted to ask you about this. You said he's your oldest friend.
Yeah.
Are you sure you're not the best man of this wedding?
I'm a groomsman. I got clarity on that.
Nice.
Thank God. Thank God. Well, Anthony, what is this next? Wow. Whoa.
Here we see a double black diamond down at the Cannon Mountain Ski Resort. It's a big state-owned ski resort where people love to go and have some wintry fun. I definitely thought this was one to include. It doesn't capture the same side of the natural beauty of the state, but it gives us another look at that snow-covered peak, and a lot of people having some good, clean fun out there.
Yeah.
That looks like fresh pow.
Yeah, it looks a little bit beaten down for me, but I'm a fresh pow snob.
Any other thoughts? This is definitely where we get into that hot chocolate. Maybe not quite as thick, but because we've seen here today. But
Aaron, what do you think about ski resorts?
They're great.
Yeah,
just in general.
Just in general, they're fine. They seem like a good resource for the state. Some income, all
Yeah,
that.
it's true.
I know you said your parents weren't super into taking you guys into this like ridiculously expensive hobby, but have you had any experiences skiing in New Hampshire at all?
No, I mean little hills and stuff like that, but nothing major on the mountains myself. Anytime I've been up to Cannon Mountain and the White Mountains, but it's always been spring, summer, fall. Like I go more when it's hiking.
Is it still worth? Going? I assume.
Oh,
it's
absolutely. No, I mean it's still great nature. I just don't. I'd never participated in those winter activities.
It also feels like in the winter is the time when this would be most filled with like tourists coming to ski from everywhere else. It feels like a mountain town in the summer. No one's there. You can really enjoy it.
Yeah, exactly.
Anthony, how many more slides we got in this PowerPoint?
just two. We can make the next one pretty quick. Here we have.
I just have a little bit of a question, a little bit of a philosophical one. I'm having trouble reckoning with the ski resort because I kind of equate it to a golf course, where golf courses are just these like privatized lands that could be used for a variety of other things, and it just seems that a ski resort is kind of in that same vein.
It's a little bit harder. I come from a place where there are a lot of opportunities for skiing and snowboarding, and I can say a lot of that mountainous land can't be used for anything else. It's the elevation is so steep or the land so rocky and the snow so often that like you're not going to build a house on the top of this giant mountain. However, the green impact of this, I mean, it's sort of a green thing. It keeps a lot of the trees around. There's all you're running are really like lifts to go up and down the mountain. And it also brings in a ton of money to the local economy, which wants very badly to keep the area around the ski resort pretty as fuck so people keep coming to ski. I will say it's elitist as shit because it's expensive and it's like really only rich white people who can afford to go and fucking ski places. But it's like, I see where you're coming from with a golf course. They definitely have a history of like keeping certain people out. Like golf gentlemen only, ladies forbidden.
Sure.
But in the way that they mow down tons of land and just replace it with those like greenery stuff, they don't really do this in this. There's like one strip of trees cleared, but everything else is left there because it'd be boring if you didn't have trees on the mountain.
You learned something new.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks, Stu.
No problem.
Let's move on to the final slide, the second to last slide, rather. This is the Strawberry Bank Museum. No, you can't deposit some fruit here. It's an old European settlement in New Hampshire, the oldest of all of them. And it's actually a neighborhood that was restored and turned into an outdoor museum. It's located in the infamous Portsmouth, New Hampshire. Look at those restored buildings. Those really hold up to those old European settler kind of facades.
Obviously, they want to keep this place around for a long time. I guess you could say Strawberry Banks forever.
Jesus.
Aaron, have you ever been here?
I've been to Portsmouth, have not had the pleasure of this particular museum.
This seems like another.
It's one of those
field
cases
trip.
where, definitely elementary
Yeah.
field trip. You go, someone's churning butter, acts like they don't know what a watch is. Really excited. Time.
Well, a Timex in the digital age, you remember, of course.
Don't believe me, just watch. Guys, would you ever take a visit here in present day?
No, voluntarily, no.
Oh, so you don't care about your history?
This isn't my history.
This is.
I mean, maybe, again, if you're in 4th grade in New Hampshire, this seems like a great place to go instead of going to school.
Is it? Great being out of school, but like being dragged outside. It's probably going to be cold outside in like early April or late March.
Dude.
And it sucks.
Are you telling me you're not going to sit next to your crush on the back of the bus on the ride there?
I know my crush doesn't like me anyway.
Oh, damn. That sort of seems like a personal thing, not a big attack of Strawberry Banks, Tim.
No, but I got to see her in school and out of school now. It's bullshit.
Jesus Christ.
I will say that I love the concept of an open air museum. I like when you can get outside and stretch those leggies.
First it happened to malls, now museums.
Definitely.
What?
And what are malls these days than urban museums? Abandoned. Looking at the old exhibit of
Jesus
Spencer's
Christ.
Gifts.
Jesus Christ. We should probably
All
move
right.
on to
All
our
right.
final slide.
Aaron,
huh?
you have no connection to this. Pretty much anything in my slideshow. Let's see if this final slide resonates with you. Oh my God, the text didn't save.
Oh.
It was supposed to say, "Bye, New Hamp. See ya, champ." And it did not save, but luckily we got the rest of the imagery in here. We have some fun characters from Storyland, one of the 6 or 7 amusement parks in New Hampshire. It really seems like the kind of place where they build a bunch of amusement parks because there's nothing else to do. Aaron, would you say that's an accurate statement?
My hometown of Salem, New Hampshire has America's oldest amusement park, Canopy Lake Park.
Damn.
So a little disappointed that one didn't make the slideshow, but
This one has the SEO locked down.
but I'm excited that you got Robert Frost listed. That's definitely something that
we should point out. Aaron, could you describe who is in this picture or what?
Well, it looks like we've got some familiar faces of New Hampshire. You know, all those thematic mascots you associate with it. We've got we got a Humpty the Dumpty character.
Humpty the Dumpty.
Humpty the Dumpty.
And then we have I don't know, Barney after keto and that and that Triceratops he's always stringing along.
Yeah.
So.
PJ.
Right, and they're holding 3 items, these 3 mascots. Do you want to tell us what those are?
Well, I see Robert Frost poems. Robert Frost is a famous American poet who was from Derry, New Hampshire, and you can actually go and tour his farm to this day. Yeah, they have the farm where he lived, and they actually have that one path that wasn't traveled very often back there.
It's there?
Oh.
Yeah, it's I don't know.
Tourists
Does it lead to Panucci's pizza?
Let's see. I see this says bedtime stories. I don't know what that is.
It's an Adam Sandler film.
I
figured it was
super forgettable.
It was on brand for Storyland.
I see.
Yeah.
Well, fair. I don't. Well,
I
you
see.
avoided all of his actual successful.
Yeah.
films.
Well, and what is Humpty the Dumpty holding there?
The dumpster is holding.
Humpster the dumpster, maybe.
He's holding the Da Vinci Code by Dan Brown, and I'm guessing Dan Brown is also from New
Dan
Hampshire?
Brown, shockingly, is not from Italy at all.
No.
That particular angel or demon is from New Hampshire. And I have the characters from Storyland holding 3 of the most famous stories from New Hampshire's history. So the Triceratops is actually probably the main feature of Storyland because their most famous ride is a Triceratops roller coaster.
Cool.
You sit inside of a Triceratops as it zooms around. Humpty the Dumpty is there because it is Storyland. They do actually have a house built like a shoe, the old lady's shoe. You remember the fun story, everybody? The parable?
Okay.
What do you guys think of Storyland?
Stop!
all right, we can stop that. Aaron, we've run the gamut. We've seen it all. What do you think of New Hampshire? Or sorry, what do you think of my representation of New Hampshire? What would you give it on a ridiculous 6 scale?
You know, I'll say I think you got some very breathtaking photos. You did an excellent job representing, how scenic it can be. I would have preferred Canopy Lake Park, but you still got a theme park in there. So I'm actually going to give you an all 6 ridiculous 6.
Oh, yes!
You're perfectly ridiculous.
Yeah. Now, Anthony, can you name the cast of the Ridiculous 6?
We have Adam Sandler. We have Taylor Lautner,
Mhm.
Rob Schneider,
Mm-hmm.
Vincent D'Onofrio,
That's true.
and
Wow, really?
oh wait, no, am I conflating that with
The Magnificent Seven?
The Magnificent Seven?
You are.
Okay, shit. All right. Do we have any other Sandler notables in there?
Here.
Sandler mainstays?
Rob is for sure in
We
there.
said Rob
Oh.
Schneider. I can say he's a big boy, lots of muscles, loves to make his nipples dance.
Terry Crews.
That's right.
Isn't David Spade in it?
I think he might be, but I also feel
He's
like
not one of the 6.
Chris Rock?
Chris Rock? No, he's not in it. He wouldn't have done it. Who else is in the Ridiculous
Grown-ups,
6?
don't assume they wouldn't do Ridiculous 6.
Well, you know what? Maybe we'll sort of try and figure that out. But in the meantime, we got to know how many out of Ridiculous 6.
Oh no, we already did. He got.
Oh, it was the full 6. Oh,
he got
how
a
could I
pull.
forget?
He got a perfect Ridiculous 6.
I guess
and-
I'm so jealous. I'm already forgetting.
You know, while we can't name all Ridiculous 6 actors, Anthony has achieved a full Ridiculous 6, and what better way to move on to the 5th sense than talking about how New Hampshire has touched our hearts. So we're going to go in a circle, starting with Anthony, then to Aaron, to Stuart, then to myself, to summarize what New Hampshire does for us. Anthony?
New Hampshire, beautiful but lacks substance. I don't really think of it. There's not much there that is super exciting at all. There is some natural beauty, a little bit of history, but overall not somewhere that you really need to visit for any other reason than to see those leaves change color. It does strike me as, and I'm not trying to dunk on it at all, but I think that it would be a pretty boring state to live in. I would imagine that a lot of people try to get out when they can, and go somewhere, otherwise along that northeast coast, and try to move to a bigger city, perhaps. But I really didn't find much in there for me. I thought that all of the segments were middling today. Not necessarily because of our work, but just because of what we had to work with.
Certainly not with our work.
No, this is probably my best episode, my personal best episode on Statesman. And Aaron, I appreciate you being here, but
Yeah.
I'm sorry. This state is a no Hampshire for me.
Aaron.
I'd like to take back those ridiculouses after that. That was no. I actually don't disagree with his assessment. Like for me, New Hampshire growing up, it very much was one of those places where I was constantly thinking, I can't wait to leave this town, go off to something bigger and better. But in retrospect, when I do return to it, I always do look on mostly the nature of it and go, oh, I took for granted a lot of things that I truly should have appreciated. So it's always going to be the home of my most awkward moments and cringeworthy memories. It's going to be what I associate with staying up late at night wondering why I was ever that way. But ultimately, it is still where I consider home. So it will have a special place in my heart.
Would you ever return to retire or die there?
Die there, certainly, but not intentionally.
Right. You were trying to live free, right?
Right, exactly.
You want to be devoured by the Kankamangas. Stuart.
For my touch segment, I'd like to use the taglines for the two movies I won today, Big Daddy and Grown Ups 2. First, just because they're a little older doesn't mean they've grown up.
Which one's that for?
Now, this is an old state. It's one of the classics, one of the first 13. And I will say that it has a lot of that sort of old-timey American splendor to it. But for me, it's still a little boring, and it's like I wish it would. It's too grown up. It's not fun enough for me. They don't have the wacky, strange things other than, of course, the story time park that Anthony has. You bought us tickets, right?
Yeah.
Cool. Well, other than
Let's
that,
go.
Well,
so
I mean, we didn't really get into the opioid epidemic.
that's actually really true.
Yeah, that is a really good point. We shouldn't glaze over that.
just-
It is a problem
yeah,
in the whole Northeast.
Just because they're a little older doesn't mean they've grown up. They won't grow up at all at this rate. Stop.
Jesus.
What? You think it's a joke?
Oh, okay. No, it's not.
Big Daddy. Nature called. Look who answered. I think New Hampshire called out to all of us with its nature today, and I would like to answer the call. I would like to visit. I'd love to spend a couple of weeks up in the mountains there writing a book of poetry or maybe a mystery thriller based around Parisian art. I don't know. I like the state.
New Hampshire, going into New Hampshire, I was a little bit underwhelmed. I saw the skiing, and that was a cool thing. I saw the maple syrup, and I thought that was a cool thing. But then everything else, I was like, this is kind of falling flat for me. But one thing that didn't fall flat for me was its gorgeous scenery and nature, and I just thought it was beautiful. I have no anecdotal story about New Hampshire, which maybe is the most upsetting part to me about this whole touch segment, because I really don't have any other thing to say here other than I will go and visit New Hampshire when I have the time. Stuart has just handed me the DVD box to The Longest Yard, which I have one, and on the box it says, "If you can't get out, get even," which I think so appropriately goes hand in hand with the "live free or die" motto. If you can't get out, then die.
If you can't leave, get out.
Yes, thank you.
Thank you. That's all I have to say about it. If you have any questions or concerns about the great 50 states of the Statesman, reach out to us on Twitter at StatesmanPod, on Facebook and Instagram at StatesmanPodcast, or by email at statesmanpodcast@gmail.com. Please like, rate, subscribe, and share the show with your friends because it helps the show out a lot. Aaron, thank you so much for coming on the show, man.
Thanks again for having me. This was a lot of fun.
Yeah, really appreciate it. Do you have anywhere that we can find you online or any shows that you're doing around Chicago?
Yeah, you can check me. I have a website, burzakcomedy.com, and then I run a regular open mic here, the American Dream open mic at the Chicago Blarney Stone every Thursday. Ooh. So if you are also a Chicago-based comic, feel free to come on through.
Yeah, what time on Thursdays?
Sign-ups are at 8 o'clock or 8:15, and we started at 8:30.
All right. Damn. Well, shit. Anthony, Stuart, you guys.
Yeah, it was just an absolute pleasure talking with you today. And although we said that you look a little like Ike Barinholtz, you're my favorite Chicago comedian with a B last name that's a little bit hard to pronounce.
That means a lot. Thank you.
And Aaron, we already talk so much at work when we're supposed to be doing our jobs.
Yeah.
But it was great to have you over and get into a little more detail than we normally go into. And it's truly a pleasure. I've seen you perform a couple times, and you're so funny. And I would push everyone to go out to that open mic and spread your wings a little bit.
Hell yeah.
All right. Well, on behalf of my junior statesman, Anthony Rossi, and Stuart Highcar, I'm your older statesman, Tim Ferrari. State positive.
Adam Sandler, Terry Crews, Taylor Lautner, Rob Schneider, Luke Wilson, and Hurley from Lost.
Now that's ridiculous, baby.
It's just a chance to say